Prasidh Krishna has had a bad day today. He's gone for 68 of his 4. He has been expensive in this series. Where does he go from here? What would you like to see him doing different or better for the next game?
Well, I think it's important that you keep the belief very strong. This format demands you to be thick-skinned. You're gonna have superb days out there. You're gonna have tough days out there. Like I said, it's just about controlling the thinking, controlling the thought process, controlling what you can control. And when you go back, it's more about visiting the game again in terms of the thought process you've been having.
Yeah.
Look, skill-wise, nothing is going to change. Skill-wise, he's a great bowler. He's got everything which this format also demands. It's about, like I said, understanding in the game time, what are your options? What are the options you're going to take, and what were you thinking? I think that thought process is something which I give a lot of importance to, especially in this format, because if you are just clear in your thinking, half the things in terms of execution gets taken care. So if I have to advise anything, it's just about not worrying about having a tough day. It's just about going back there, maybe see your spell, what you're having today, and then think about what you're thinking while that was happening. And that is just going to give you more assurance when you're again put back into a high pressure zone. It doesn't matter who's batting. I'm not saying that, because Maxwell hit today and, or may Wade hit you a few shots. It's going to go on. Tomorrow there will be some other batters. But it's just about the thought process, getting better at it, absorbing pressure. All those kind of aspects will make you a standout bowler, because the skill is there, the ability is there. Just about putting the pieces together when you are under pressure on days like this.
But say if you look at Prasidh Krishna's 18th over which he bowled brilliantly. They needed 50 of 3 overs, and he bowled
that one slow kind of loopy Yorker.
So they did execute it really well. And another thing is, last over also, I mean, a couple of hits which we mentioned earlier in the show, they were good balls. They were, that was the planning was there to not give room, hitting that length outside the off stump. And if someone hits you the way Glenn Maxwell has hit you, you can't do anything about it. So that's when you have to have that belief in you, and that's when you have to keep backing yourself. I think as Zach said, you will have these kind of days, but your skill doesn't go anywhere.
Okay, well, and also this also highlights the fact that the guy who's getting married is on vacation, right?
Yeah, that's
and we were talking about it. He was doing that superb job of controlling things, bowling those Yorkers, maybe tailing those Yorkers, and all those kind of things. So take a leaf out of his book. How he's worked. You are together, all the bowlers. These kind of conversations need to happen in terms of thought process, like how Mukesh is thinking about it, because he in the first 2 games was that worker who was doing exactly the right thing, might not be getting highlighted that much because of lack of wickets, and in this format things go unnoticed. So the role which he was playing today, for sure, in a game like this, Indian team missed that kind of a role, that kind of execution by one of the bowlers.
Well, listen, Mukesh, the only thing Mukesh is thinking about today is that Chacha ji ne khana kha liya. ठीक है, Phupa ji ko gaadi pahunchi time pe. That's all he's thinking about today. But to lead on from that to the next question, Zach, would be that you're saying take a leaf out of the book. Would the Indian team just take the book away from Prasidh for the next game and just give it to Mukesh? Because what has happened is Avesh has played decently today. Prasidh's had a bad day. You're not saying any question mark on his skill. Sometimes when you have a day like that, and he's not had very good, the first 2 games have also not been great for him. Let's say if you say, all right, buddy, no problem, sit out 1 game, that's okay, just take it easy one day, and you go with Mukesh, Avesh and Arshdeep. Would you do that for the next game? Because Mukesh is available for the next game.
Well, I would still back Prasidh.
So would you swap Mukesh and Avesh then?
I think you will go back, because that's how you started the series. That combination was working for you nicely. One tough day shouldn't change that kind of a thought process. And you're not going to learn sitting in the dugout. This when you have a tough day and that the guy has got the potential, and he was your first pick, and that consistency needs to be shown, and that confidence needs to be given. At times then it becomes too result oriented. You don't want to create an environment which is too result oriented, where if you do well you're going to stay, if you don't do well you'll have to sit there outside in the dugout. That creates more doubts in terms of a bowler approaching the game. And for that reason, I think, on a day like this, when you're going in the next one, again, you are leading the series. You are 2-1 up in the series.
Yep.
You should back your thought process and the bowlers you've been backing.